Hey folks, we're going to continue working on the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book here. We're going to do some more illustrations this morning. Give me a moment here to check my signal. I'll go through my intro, and then we'll get to work here for about 100 minutes. So, mic check, 1, 2, 3. So, mic check. Yeah, it sounds like it's coming through pretty good. All right, good. So, let's click some buttons here. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, bop, bop. Comments. There we go. All right, shout out to the Reddit, the Spelljammer Reddit subcommunity for supporting all the stuff that I've been doing lately, as well as to all the Discord channels. I'm going to, if you're here in the future and you're catching this after we were live, you know what's going on. You can skip forward like a minute or so for me to dive into the actual work. But if you, hey future. If you're new here or you're here in real time with me, hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing game supplements. I illustrate them. I publish them online, and I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition here for the past 5 years. There's a slew of links in the description down below that you can check out that have works that I've done in the past. They're all full previews. So there's stuff down there for you to check out, kick it open, pop open a PDF to read through the stuff that I'm doing. If you're a D&D enthusiast and you think some of this stuff is cool, consider making a purchase to help support the channel. Also, I just posted on live on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney if you're still on the X platform while it lasts. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Thanks a lot for the new supporters that we picked up this week. I really appreciate you guys taking an interest in what we're doing here. I stream 6 days a week, and I publish content for consumption on Sunday as well. We are currently, let's see, we're currently at episode 283. We created this book cover back around episode 15, so you can click here for the full playlist. Jump into the Wayback Machine to see the creation of the book cover. So I DM Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition campaigns from level 1 to 20 in about 200 to 250 hours. The tools that I make, like the stuff I have down below, these are all things that I needed to run the campaign that I wanted, or emerged while I was running a campaign and decided to build it out into mechanics that could be digested for others to make use of. So when I create a supplement, we go through the playtesting process. If the mechanics are cool, I'll then write it out, maybe hire some team like Ukulele Bard. Joseph Vargas is a co-writer to help me with the mechanics, or the math, and and parsing out how the system should work. Great thanks to Ukulele. And Adam Hancock, my editor, we handed off the final transcript to him, which he translated into words that make sense. Once we got it back from him, we then went into Microsoft Word here and dropped the text into bite-sized chunks I could fit on pages. And as you can see, there's various blank spots in each page document. This is where the illustrations go. So we'll extract a page here. We'll go into Photoshop. We'll drop the page here on canvas. We then paint on the canvas. Once that's done, we'll pick up all the illustrations, and we will drop them back here into the document. And once this is all done, we'll seal it up into a PDF. We'll publish it on DMsGuild, and we'll have a link for you guys to follow to check out the content, and hopefully you'll think it's cool too. So, having said all that, let's go ahead and keep working through this piece. So let's see, where are we at right now? We are working on this gunner. So let's go ahead and keep doing that. I'm gonna grab this body here. I keep arguing over the size of these hips. Driving me a little bonkers. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cut them off at the waist. Pardon the pun. And let's squeeze that in a bit. So we make it fit together a little bit better. I tell you what, we'll make this guy fit eventually. Knock that off. Well, I'm taller, not smaller. Thank you. Let's try that. This is what I get for not making sure that it was mechanically or structurally sound before moving into the coloring process. I knew this would happen. I called it 2 days ago. Just hate to see it happen. But, you know, 'tis the fate of the world. So, I sally forth. Nib that in the tuck. That should do fine. Let's merge that down. Switch to our guitar pick. It's a much smoother blending tool than the cloud. The cloud brush. Just to remind anyone that maybe new that once we get to 500 subscribers, I'll put this this brush set on my Patreon for free for people to be able to download, just as a perk and thank you for folks being interested in the artwork that I create here. So if you're an artist yourself and you're interested in the tools that I built to create the artwork that I do, like and subscribe. Stick around. You don't have to be a member of my Patreon to benefit from the free stuff that I post there, as well as all the article content and conversation. You are most welcome to participate. Feeling a lot better about this piece. We're going to be okay. So I stream 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, Monday through Friday like this. So we work on the primary project that's on our workbench, which for now is the Spelljammer book. On Mondays and Thursday nights, like last night, we stream Eberron Adventure Production, and there. And Saturday mornings, I have an open bench that I can work on anything that I want. I'm going to work on page layouts and just look at the process of show off how I integrate artwork with the page layout of the book in the Microsoft Word program. And we're going to do some word sculpting to make sure that the text that we have in the document is fitting properly around some of the diagrams that we've created for fleets and fleet mechanics. So that's a good opportunity for folks to take a look at the fleet mechanics, as well as just see how the layout process works. So we'll be doing that tomorrow morning in approximately 27 hours. Typically, it's 6:30 in the morning here in Seattle, and on Saturday morning I stream at 9:30 till 11:30. So we'll be doing page layouts and some casual artwork in the Spelljammer book as needed. And then lunch times on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays, including today. We typically work on the Martial Powers project. So I'm not sure exactly. I think we're working on what are we working on? I don't know what we're working on today. Stay tuned and find out. But that's typically like around 12:30 on Fridays. So that'll be in about 6 hours from now for those that are catching this live. Like I said, it's 6:30 here in Seattle right now, and we'll be live. Oof, look at that data lag. That was ugly. There, let's curve that in. I think we're going to be working on lands and possibly get into hazards, or maybe figuring out how to create impromptu dungeons inside the Rubble Belt campaign. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure. I know that we are soon going to be creating backup sample characters to run during the playtest. And that playtest should be happening in February, so we're spending time building up mechanics for the hex crawl sort of style. We're using squares, but we're still calling it hex crawl. I need a better name for a crawl that's on squares, not hexes. Let's do that. Let's add in some color here. We'll do the highlight off of the yellow in the Eldritch Cannon to add to the highlights on this side of the character, since they don't have the backlighting that they're getting off of here. Different angle, different lighting, different color. Hey, let's take a sip of coffee. Finally working our way down the body. Make a new layer. Let's put in some dots here. That's real easy fake chainmail. And pull back, it has a little bit of texture to it. Just a little bit. Make it interesting. Let's grab some of this darkness in here. The darkness that lies within thy knees. God, this guitar pick brush is so good at blending hardline metals and stuff. I'm really, really glad we discovered this. really great tool for us to be able to get good glossy effects in the blend. Boot. Print. There we go. I spy with my eye a visitor. Hey, what's up? Hey, Ornetico, how you doing, my guy? How's tricks? Das Boot. Let's be like that. Go to the rail. Let's make this a bit more. This. I'm going to fix my window over here again. I can never get this thing to sit proper. It's on sale for such. Ah, yeah, right on. The eternal struggle. That feels pretty good. Let's drop this back in here. Yeah, I think that feels right. That does feel right. Cool. Save. Drop in here. Oh, wow. Right on. I have not picked it up myself. If I start designing for Planescape, I'll buy it so I have the reference content. But I find the second edition lore superior. Even from just a few snippets that I saw of 5e, the second edition lore is vastly it's just got better flavor. But at the same time, I don't think there's any real mechanics that Planescape is offering other than a couple backgrounds, right? Maybe a couple spells. So it's not a if you don't know anything about the setting and you don't want to spend a bunch of money fishing around for ideas, then you at least get on board with the 5e take on it. Especially if you're interested in it, and especially if you, I mean, hell, if you're interested, you should grab it, dude, because that sounds like a great discount. So there we go. Good enough. This guy is, I deem this fellow good enough. So let's get to work on the Eldritch Cannon. The cannon. I'll do the cannon. Sorry, Sideshow Bob, but is there a special birthday wish? Let's see. Work our way. What's all that about? That's the trash layer now. Drop into the trash. Where is my different bits coming from? Maybe I duplicate and merge, conceal. Yeah, definitely. That is a consensus opinion. No, it certainly isn't. But it is better. So I mean, cheers. Hold on, let me fix. There. No. I haven't heard any comments about the adventure, though. The change level gimmick, so that your character transitions unnaturally to 17th level. Yeah, I don't know about that. I'll say my confidence is low, but I don't have just because I don't trust. There's very little examples in WotC history of them knowing how to run a tier 4 campaign. Like I think Mad Mage is the only adventure they've had that attempts to exceed 15th level. So I don't know. I don't see them handling Wish well or whatever. Like, they'd have to have a lot of pages of caveats, and Wizards is not known for adding pages for caveats. So I'm just concerned it's a contrived adventure, and it's just a... I don't know. I don't want to shit on it too much. I just have my doubts. But I also am not investing any money into it, so I mean, hey. I may never know. I'd have to find out for myself. If I don't know. I just don't like the idea of spending money on it. If just to review it, you know. I mean, I'll obviously have opinions about it, considering that I run 4th tier campaigns on the regular. It'd be nice to, I guess, comment on it. But I have no intention of actually running the adventure, so it's just going to be me basically. I envision if I picked up the box set just so I could review the adventure and the transition to 17th level, I only imagine myself basically bad mouthing it, and that's a bad faith going in on a plan. And the only reason I would do it is for content. I got plenty of other fucking fish to fry. But yeah, if you do pull the trigger on it, let me know, because I'd be interested to hear your thoughts about it. Legit. My Discord channel is going to fire up on Tuesday. It's already built. I've just kept it concealed. Just to let it sit and percolate for a little while before I open the doors for folks. Christmas present to myself. Launching a Discord community. Oh boy. Yeah, it's supposed to be these alternate realities, right? And so, because the multiverse is wacky, I guess. Doctor Strange inspired much. But, yeah, so there's alternate realities. Your character dies over and over again. I don't have any confidence that they actually handled that mechanic well. So, again, I'm a bad faith audience member. But at one point during the adventure triggers your character to the game wants your character to die so that you can trigger the alternate character identity thing, and that rubs me the wrong way, because that means that the adventure wants you to conspire to kill the characters, which probably means that there's a railroad situation that forces the characters to get killed in a no-win scenario that you're willingly walking the characters into without their knowledge, specifically so you can do your thing. How is that better than forcing a team to get to be taken captive, or any other numerous contrived instances where you take away player agency for the sake of your story? And that's the root of what's bothering me about the Planescape game, is that, okay, you kill the characters. It's like, what team wants to get killed, they are going to fight like hell to stop to not be killed, unless you're going to gas chamber them or walk them into a no survive situation. These are both bad faith actions. They destroy trust in the DM as an arbiter and as a narrator, where you're placing the story above player agency by willingly walking them into something that they cannot survive, because the story requires that they die, just like your story requires them to be captured. So regardless of their tactics, you're just going to bullshit them into getting caught. So in this case, it sounds like you're supposed to walk them into a bullshit situation where they get killed, so you can do their special gimmick. Their special gimmick is taking away player agency. That's what's got me pissed off about it. Thank you. I knew I had a reason why I was bothersome about it, but I didn't want to just rail on them ignorantly. But that is the worst. That is the worst faith approach to take an adventure. And just knowing that is the objective, that is the guidance that the adventure is giving, is telling me it is not worth, what, $25-$30? Fuck you. Learn how to be a good storyteller, and then build good stories, and then ask for my money. Coming in hot. Don't mind me, folks. But that concept just goes against all good advice from all experienced DMs, like fucking ever. Maybe it got a lot of shit online and I missed it. You'd have to. So again, taking what is essentially a campaign idea and it's not ready to go. So you contrive to get the characters killed so that you can give them access to playing 17th level characters, which I'm assuming they're going to somehow limit your ability to wish and teleport away and summon whatever and divine intervention and all that stuff. I doubt there's going to be... I mean, maybe it's an amazing adventure and I'm just missing it. But the problem with 17th level adventures is that they have infinite power, and this is essentially a 17th level one shot. I mean, if you really think about it, if you're every time you kill the characters, they can shift into a new character. The game wants to kill your characters on purpose, and since it's such a brief campaign, there's no emotional commitment from the players to stay inside of the box that the campaign creates. That's the thing about high level adventures, is that they have to start off lower. You have to, if you're going to have a 20th level, like a 17th to 20th level campaign, a tier 4 adventure, you have to start in the second or third tier, preferably the second tier at like around level 10. So that you have enough momentum to be able to build them into emotional commitment, so that at the high level, once they get their mitts on the thing that they're supposed to defeat, they want to latch onto it and stay on top of it, use their powers to stay in the narrative space that they help sculpt, instead of being dropped into a one-shot and having the power to yeet out of the entire campaign storyline because they have multiple abilities that allow them to do so. Now you have to create a contrived reason to create a box to keep the players inside of, which is again taking away from their agency. A properly constructed long-term campaign that leads up to tier 4 locks them in with emotional decisions and a chosen path of agency over the course of the campaign, where the players know why they're in the circumstances that they're in, that they've escalated to over months or years to get to. So by the time they get to that level of play, their attitude isn't what tools and cool toys do I have. The attitude becomes, I now have the resources and power to resolve things that are on my plate that I don't like still being on my plate in the campaign, because we weren't strong enough to take them out of commission. And you can't in a, like 15 pages, 17 pages maybe? You can't do that. It's... So I'm starting to talk out of pocket, so I'm gonna back off a little bit. But again, the whole premise is not demonstrating Wizards' mastery of their own game system. Again, I have no feedback from anyone ever saying that there was demonstrations of them running high-level games for more than like one session, if any. So I don't have any faith in the crew that built the adventure. So that's me bad talking at this point. I'm going to stop because I honestly, I'm not willing to spend the money on what I am assuming and bad faith is going to be. I don't even know if it's bad faith. It's a bad attitude that I have, and I readily admit that. I don't think it's bad faith, though, to have a lack of confidence in their ability to construct a good story, considering like every story that they present, unless it's just a dungeon crawl, needs a lot of surgery. It's such a paradoxical situation because to be able to run a high-level campaign well, you have to have that emotional commitment over time. But to publish an adventure, you have to create a box that the characters will operate inside of, and then provide basically contrived reasons for them to stay inside of that box, not just yeet out of there. It's an unfair proposition to ask Wizards to create an effective high-tier campaign without creating limiting circumstances. The very nature of adventure and challenges is to limit their options, but to do so in a way that they're choosing to limit themselves. Like that's the good narrative piece of it. That's a very very difficult thing to do. It's unfair for the larger community that's never been in high-level campaigns to assume and demand that Wizards produces content for high-level campaigns. But again, so it sounds like I'm talking out both sides of my mouth now, because I'm like, I have no confidence in Wizards being able to create a tier 4 campaign adventure sort of thing, while also saying I don't expect them to be able to create high-level things. I think they need to... The problem is that I don't think they've properly sculpted expectations from the community. Since most of these folks are new and they've not been around long enough to be able to draw these conclusions or have the time to experiment at higher level plays themselves at all, they're thinking that the content is possible and why is it not being provided? But the reality is that that Wizards needs to invest a lot more time in explaining the shifting gears between one campaign tier and another. But again, I've never seen any demonstration of them doing it, so I don't have any confidence they actually know what the fuck they're talking about. If they were to even suddenly start talking about, okay, here's how to sculpt a campaign from level 1 to 20, like other than I guess Dungeon of the Mad Mage, which is I don't own that. I think it's in I think I do. It's in Tales of the Portal, Tales of the Yawning Portal, I think has that. But if I'm not mistaken, it's contrived, like no plane shifting, no teleporting. Once you walk into the dungeon grind, you stay in it until you can physically walk your way out of it, and that is highly contrived. My cannon is off, and that pisses me off because I'm gonna have to redo the line art. I think that's another good reason to consider limiting the game to 10th level or less. it goes against the traditions of what D&D is. But if a company can't effectively create in-game content, then you shouldn't be offering in-game content. Stay in the scope of what the game can do. There's plenty of people that make epic level, like all these people that make epic level handbooks. I don't want to throw shade at creators, but I question how many people that have made epic level progressions and epic level handbooks for 5th edition have ever played epic levels. I will happily eat crow on that. And I'm not calling anyone out specifically, but it's very sus to see an epic level handbook pop out and not get any kind of feedback from folks that this was a play-tested document. Like, I don't like publishing stuff that isn't tested, but that's my standard, not necessarily others. I just must not have good business acumen. I give away too much stuff. I'm too much of an artist. I'm too much of a creator, not enough of a businessman to try to show people out of money. There's text happening. Hold on, I'll catch up to the conversation here in a few minutes. A few minutes. Hold on. It'll be faster than that. Yeah, well, okay, thank you. At this point, why bother to make some 17th level? Right. Right. But again, I don't know how the adventure is structured. I just have to assume that there are contrived, considering that all the circumstances that get them to 17th level are not earned and are just contrived. We're just giving you 17th level. You're not earning it. Yet again, an example of them just giving players something for nothing and it not being worthy of respect. People don't respect being given. Starship Troopers taught us this. People don't respect being given things. They want to earn it. Even if you're the one that's setting the standard that says if you do these things, you'll get this stuff, you're still creating a standard in which people have to operate and perform and meet expectations, and they are earning it. They are earning that. You're not giving them. But that is the problem with this adventure. Just what little I know about it, it is again just. It is a societal mind rot when being given things is built into your games, because the games are basically a reflection of the mentality of the people that create them. And it's difficult to respect people who think that they should get something for nothing. I'm really taking shots right now, so I want to be cautious about how disrespectful I am in the conversation as a whole. It's not fair to be unkind to people, especially, again, when I don't even actually know what the content is and I'm making a lot of assumptions. So if I really want to dig in and take shots, I need to invest in it myself to review it. I don't even know why I'm bothering with this extra line. All right, let's go to here. So far, so good. So what? These characters aren't awesome, but these characters are also really small. So, I mean, at this resolution, like, this is probably the resolution of reading for you. For normal people, for me, I have to be this close or close. Hold on. Thank you. Yeah, this is how close I need to be able. I can get to about. This is difficult. This is comfortable for me. So this level of detail I am content with. Chances are normal people with like actual vision can probably read at this resolution, assuming that you were doing full screen and had the same level of resolution that I'm literally looking at. So I'm pretty confident the amount of going here is going to be a-okay. Let me go ahead and actually do this. Guitar pick to the rescue. Such a great smudge tool. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait. Yeah. There. Let's fill that in. Good. Move you offline and touch. Weird speck back here. Nope, that's just part of the background. All right. Well, I guess that's that conversation, right? Cheers. Should be doing separate layer highlights here. Yeah, I'm liking this. Whoa, get out of here. The cannon, the cannon. It's her special birthday wish. Sorry, Sideshow Bob. Never gets old. That joke never gets old. Here. And maybe I don't need that in there. Contemplating my next move. So far, I'm pretty good with this stuff. No, wait, this, right. I hear you, buddy. There it is. Let's keep going. Good. Blend this down so that disappears into the light. Here to make sure this smooths out into a proper. That feels pretty good. We can smudge this in. It is raining like crazy right now in Seattle. I love this time of year. It feels so good. Oh no, we're totally shifting topic, man. Excellent. Heists are fun, man. I have not experienced it myself. I'm aware of it. I've never ran it. I don't run a lot of published adventures. But yeah, I only hear good things about Dragon Heist.
I'm going to run it with the fresh table at some point. Once my home table is done with it, just having it right on.
All things a good time, my man. If it's supposed to be, there's nothing you can do to stop it. Stitch that up. Jump back up to here. Blend that line art in. I'm feeling pretty good about where this is at. Oh, wait. There, and then fix this line art here. That's probably, yep, there. This is coming along really, really nicely. Like, I don't feel compelled to do a lot more for this. Let's grab some of this darker bit here. Let's see what we can do to put that there. I do need to have some lighting here that for the flash. Do that. Let's put this stripe in here and then we'll sculpt the light around the stripe. That should work. Just have to be mindful of where the light is actually at and what it can hit. And then let's put another layer on top of it. Let's grab this. I
I can, hold on. There we go. Grab this. Where's that line? I should probably blend this all down into a single layer. I can fuck with it easier. Of course. Oh, that's the problem. I don't have 100% of my eraser. I'm like, why isn't that yellow going away? It's because I'm a fool. Bop, bop, bop. Bop, bop. That. Feels pretty good. Hold on. Right. Like that. Wow, it is really raining. It is just downpouring. That is hopefully how the whole weekend is going to go up here. I would love to have a rainy Christmas. Current plans is just to have a fire burn all day and leave the windows open. It's going to be like in the 40s, like 13 Celsius, 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which isn't fire weather. But if you leave your windows open, it gets cold, so you can have a fire to counteract the effect, but to hear the rain and not be cold for it. That is the current plan. Just burn fire all weekend. Sounds of rain outside the window. What heaven.
I am in literal heaven already. I have my computer, I've got conversation, I've got my fireplace, and I've got a window all within 5 feet of me.
My entire world is right here. The only thing I don't have is the ability to exercise in place. Oh.
There.
There.
Yeah, I think I'm content with that. At least for now, anyway. Oh.
Not bad. I'm pretty pleased with how this is coming along. Pretty pleased. Pretty pleased with how this is coming along. Meow. Down. Let's take a sip. How are we doing on time? 7:20. Hold on, gotta fix my seat. 49. Okay, I got another 20 minutes. All the diagrams for the book are done, so I started working on the formatting for the layout for the Light of Xerax's portion of the book. That's an intimidating process for me, organizing information like that. It's different from textbooks or from raw mechanics stuff. The adventure formatting orders information differently. You have to be able to you have to specifically group images with descriptive text with text blocks. It is proving to be a challenge for me, but luckily I have a lot of time that is coming up for me to be able to mess around with that stuff. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so we're gonna leave this, open this up, put this in here over the lines. Yeah, okay, cool. So let's work on the flinger. We're going to duplicate the lines. Merge that down. Ugh, God, this is getting a little bit contrived. Okay, so I need to deconstruct this real quick to know exactly what it is that I'm doing.
Something feels weird. Hold on. Okay, cool. So that is there. Base there. Line effect goes here. Oh, got it. That's a repeat layer. Well, good for me. Let's drop this down to the trash. Highlights. Line art. All right, let's merge that all together and see what happens. I'm gonna fuck around and find out. All right, so we, like I said, we stream 6 days a week. In the mornings, Monday through Friday like this. We do the Spelljammer Art for this book. On Mondays and Thursday nights, like last night, we work on Eberron adventure tokens, maps, and different visual assets for the adventure that we're publishing. During lunch times on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays, including today, we develop the Martial Powers project. We're at the point right now where we are wearing the DM hat and building out the playtest campaign to test the Martial Powers content from level 3 to 7. So at lunch today, in about approximately 5 hours, we'll be back online, but we'll be specifically building the mechanics for the West March campaign, the Ravnica Rubble Belt West March campaign, to test characters from level 3 to 7. So we're building out the mechanics of how the world works, like the gamification of the environment, what our procedural our procedures for moving through the adventure content during the Hex Crawl experience, to get the mechanics locked down so that we can let them sort of fade back and help guide the narrative of the adventure while still having a firm structure to put the characters in so that we can have a meaningful adventure of throwing resources around and bashing stuff and seeing what kind of progress we can make. So we're going to have to establish a number of win conditions because it's a playtest, so it doesn't matter. Like the overall drive of the campaign is rescue the characters and the NPCs they're in charge of, get them out of the rubble belt back to my cushions on my chair all fucked up. Hold on, I got to fix them. And so it's from 3rd to 7th level, and we need to have multiple ways for the characters to actually be able to find a way out of the rubble belt and, quote unquote, win, because it's not an ongoing campaign. It's just throwing mana around and testing the fun and mechanics of the martial power system at the first and second tier of game. That's the whole point of it. I know that it works at the top end from level 12 to 20. It's worked great. I'm very happy with it. But we have to test it at the low end to make sure it still has the same good vibe. So it's not so much about it's not an actual live campaign. It's a series of arranged encounters and events that are being packaged in hopefully in aesthetically pleasing packaging that will compel people to want to opt into the playtest and help me throw some mana around.
So the Rebel Belt, the Rebel Belt West March campaign is hopefully a pretty unique experience for people that have any experience with Ravnica at all, and to hopefully be a first blush encounter with Ravnica for those that have not. Introduce them to the setting from a different angle than what they would probably have the opportunity to experience under normal circumstances. So trying to create some unique experiences and to make it mechanically viable for me, like to be relevant. Sorry, mechanically relevant for the purpose of the game in the first place. So I'm obviously investing considerable amount of resources and time to make this work because it's the right thing to do. If I'm going to ask people to give me money for ideas that I create, I better make sure that the ideas work well, so that I can have the swagger I need to be able to confidently say, yeah, this is something that's going to add value to your game. Hence the need to playtest stuff. So let Bob be your uncle. So that's what we'll be doing at lunch today. I think we're gonna just build, I think we're gonna conceptualize how to insert dungeons into the Rebel Belt. And so once we have all the structure and progression built, then we can start adding specific encounters, challenges, traps, and puzzles to give the team something to throw mana against. And then it'll just and then once we get the once we get the procedural structure in place, it'll just be, you know, randomizing events and stuff into the game, and just letting the players mash on it using the resources that are available to their characters and to see what happens. So I'm actually really looking forward to this. It was, like I said, it was super fun in my home campaign. But we've hit level 20 now. So it's time to introduce some folks that aren't familiar with it to make sure that they enjoy how it feels. My home table runs over uses a lot of modified rules. So aside from evaluating fun and how easy it is to grok mechanics, it's only sort of viable for playtest feedback. Like if my table didn't have any fun with the things that we're doing, I didn't see value in it, then it's like, okay, well, we got to go back to the drawing board until I build something that they value. But once they're like, yeah, this is cool shit, then I need to get external influence, external feedback, to make sure that what we're building is going to work for people that aren't, like, I guess, quote unquote, indoctrinated into my games, right? So once we get the playtests figured out, I'll be able to build out a slew of sample characters that we can just keep as a roster for people to just grab. Like, if their character gets killed, no biggie, just grab this character and run with it. But we also need to, that's something I think that's something fun we could do today is I need to take the spell lists for the Ravnica guilds and provide alternate power lists for characters that aren't spellcasters. Because, like, if you're playing a Rakdos Barbarian, you're not going to have spells. So the spell list that the Ravnica the guild backgrounds grant isn't very useful. Same thing with Strixhaven. We'll need to build out alternate bonus lists for characters that don't, like, if you're a spellcaster, you'll have options to either select from the spells that are default to the guilds and colleges, or you can select power. And if you're a half caster, like an artificer, well, artificer not so much, but like a paladin and a ranger, they can pick from the spell list or from the power list, but all of the
martial power characters we're building will obviously have to default to the powers. And all the spellcasters, they don't get power at all, so they don't get to opt into those. Unless they multi-class into it. So we're gonna actually, that makes sense. Huh. Yeah. I'm thinking. Should really be both. I can tell my day is almost over. I can feel it. Yeah, I got 5 minutes left. It's 7:45. I gotta bounce a few minutes early, just to make sure I get my day set up. But yeah, so I'm gonna bounce out of here. In a minute. I'm gonna finish. I think I'm gonna finish this over the weekend, and we're gonna start up a new piece on Monday. I've been on this one. I've been streaming this one for too long, and we're down. We're getting to the nitty gritty of it. You guys don't need to see me grind out all the details on this. I want to move on to another piece. There is a battle scene that I'm interested in getting into now. So I won't be here on Monday because of the Christian holiday. I will be back on Tuesday. We'll start a new illustration on Tuesday. I already know what's on deck, so I think you guys are gonna like it. And we're gonna work on that through the holiday. I will have abundant time during the week for me to stream all the books that I normally stream, but I'll have extended sessions because I have days off next week. We still have a lot of illustrations to finish. We still have 7 illustrations to go. 4 of them are landscapes, so those should go pretty quickly. And 3 of them are still combat and combat focused, which obviously they take longer. So I want to make sure I give them the time that they deserve to get done. Let's do that.
hopefully the remaining combat paintings won't take nearly as long as this one has, but I won't know until we get into it. So here's hoping. And we're working on the layouts and integrating the tokens and adventure maps into the Light of Xeraxis conversion appendix. That's something I'm working on off screen. I'm still figuring out a format for it. But I shouldn't have to use many visual assets because we have all the tokens for the creatures, the NPCs, and the maps and the ships. So there's plenty of visual assets for the Light of Xeraxis portion, and if there's any gaps in the page that are open, I think I should be able to pretty easily fill it with text. Like I am in the process of trying to trim down the text as much as possible to accommodate room for all the illustrations that we need to put in. But once the illustrations are inserted, that will open up the space for us to add in additional flavorful text to flesh out the pages. My goal is to not have illustrations in the LOX appendix to specifically let the assets that we've already created carry the narrative of that section. And there's plenty of Xeraxis illustrations already in the Light of Xeraxis adventure that we are modifying. So I want to limit the scope of the detail, but I've found some great ways to help reduce the amount of space that the ship and creature roll statistics require inside of the document. So I'm in the process of updating all of that written text information so I can properly drop it into the document, which is stuff that I will mostly do off screen because page layout stuff. On Saturday when we come back to do my Saturday workbench, we will be working on. There's a couple illustrations and diagrams in the fleet and squadron section that I need to. It's a blend. It's a blend of art, visual assets, and text in a diagram. So the illustrations already dropped here. I'll show you guys, and we'll go into details about this. But on Saturday, so I'm done. I'm done for the day. We'll hit pause on this. But when we come back tomorrow morning, in approximately, it's 8 o'clock now, in approximately 25 and a half hours, we'll be working on, here we go, the ship squadron section, where we're breaking down how the mechanics of calculating the amount of damage and the reload rate for multiple ships. So I need to, so we have the visual assets here for a squadron of vessels, a very simple squadron of craft. A squadron is simply commanding more than one ship at a time in the role of basically pilot and siege commander at the same time. So there's mixed squadrons, which is a blend of vessels and fighter craft working in the same unit as a squadron. So calculating the damage that these vessels and craft and then mixed squadrons do together, it's going to require some labels for like the damage and reload, and then defining siege weapons versus mounted weapons, vessels versus craft. We have damage for siege weapons, damage, reload, and then for mounted weapons, damage and reload, and be able to bundle that all into labels here. So we have to build text labels in this empty space here. So we'll be building little objects. We'll be building objects inside of Word to put those texts in and then to position them properly using graphic design elements. So this will be an example of me doing that, which will then be using that same process throughout Light of Xeraxis. So when we come back tomorrow morning, this is what we're going to be working on, and then we have another illustration that I'll be finishing up as well that's different from this one. So that is it for now. I'm going to blank out. I will be, so we'll work on this some more, the book more on Saturday,
and I'll be back in about probably in about 5 hours. Probably 1 o'clock is probably realistic. So in 5 hours from now, we'll be back, and we'll work on converting the Ravnica backgrounds into the martial power system. So stay tuned for that. I'll be back in a while. Thanks a lot anyone that's checking out the channel. Hornetico, thanks a lot for hanging out with me, guy. I'll see folks in the future. So thanks a lot. Laters.